Next one, heaven and water, strength and profundity, conflict. Avoid confrontation, yield with caution, persist not against obstacles. And this is so good. It's so good. Like, avoid confrontation. That's smart. That's smart. Now, sometimes people paint that in a negative way. Like, oh, that person avoids conflict, right? That person's going to avoid confrontations. But if you're doing something that I don't like, and I choose to build a relationship with you and use an indirect method and gain your trust and confidence, and you start to listen to me and I start to listen to you, and then I can get you to stop doing something that doesn't that I don't like, great, that's good. Yeah. And that's what they're talking about here.
Yeah. You guys, Carlos Mendez is one of the proliferators of this expression, came from you, is nothing good has ever come from an antagonistic relationship. So it's essentially that, right? Where the idea of like conflict, like avoid conflict in a good way. Like, no one's saying fear conflict. No one's saying that, because that's what we all feel like. Oh, he just likes to avoid conflict, out of fear.
What it should be is avoid conflict because there's a better way to resolve the situation that's going to be more efficient, faster, and it's going to end up with a better result. Yeah. That's what it should be.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because people hear, avoid confrontation. Okay, Jocko's just a pushover. It's like, no, I'm actually going to win in the long run in a more effective way. We're going to have a better relationship and things are going to work out better overall in the end. That's what I'm doing. Yep. Now, you can go and confront people all day long and build a bunch of bad relationships and have antagonistic feelings with the people that you work with. You can do that.
Yeah.
And you might think you're being directed is really helpful, but it's not. And it's interesting, too, that the next thing, it says avoid confrontation, but then there's a dichotomy to that, because the next thing it says is yield with caution. So I'm not just like, Echo wants to do it this way. I got to go, okay, hey, is that the smartest thing to do? Yeah. So there's a nice little balance between avoiding confrontation and yet still paying attention to when you yield. And then persist not against obstacles. Now, not clearly, but my assumption is that means sort of like an impassable obstacle. What are you going to do? Keep beating your head against the wall? No, don't persist against an obstacle that's there. Instead, find another way around it. Don't waste a bunch of energy. Ancient wisdom coming at you. Don't beat your head against the wall.